Hello everybody and welcome back. We've got game 2 here between Ninjas in Pajamas and Balkan Bears coming up very shortly. D2CL playoffs. This is a best of 3 heading on through to that upper bracket final. The loser of this drops down to play up against PR later today. But Ninjas in Pajamas, they're on a roll. Balkan Bears, let's see what they've got game number 2. Can they pull things back in this best of 3? Blaze, what do you reckon?
Well, if they can keep their boots intact and on their own persons, maybe they have, I would say, a 10% higher chance than what we saw in game 1. But still, I think they're pretty well outclassed. Obviously, still running with the same stand and the same lineup, but they have got to bring a different game plan because the off-lane Phoenix, as well as just the heavy emphasis on very squishy heroes that can dump damage into Chronosphere, it just didn't work.
Oh man, and Ninjas Pajamas, they pick up the Juggernaut again for Era, but this time they've got the Scarth Mage. Queen of Pain taken over there. But look at that, Troll and Sniper banned out by NiP. There's still a Storm Spirit in the pool, but BBC take the Quap instead. Earthshaker, great defensive and offensive support. He's going to be able to, really bolster these lanes against the aggression from Ninjas in Pajamas early on. Banning out the Lion, that really was a thorn in their side. The fact that Lion got a 10-minute Blink Dagger, he just went around killing people over and over again. He became like a fourth core.
Yeah, and it was actually funny because he was building up Aghanim Scepter as his next item, so that's something that we could have seen on top of the RP, as well as the overfarm Juggernaut, is actually the Finger of Death AoE. Like, that's just like, you want late game Dota, there's your late game Dota. Juggernaut with Empower and an Axe Lion combined with the Magnus, it's just scary, it really is. But now we see it taken off the table along with the Chen. Supports are actually going to be pretty slim here, but obviously we've already seen 2 picked up. The Skywrath, the Earthshaker. And with the Avenge banned out, NiP can pick up the Batrider pretty freely here. And, I mean, the Earthshaker's okay at responding to that, but it's not great. Firefly still drags you right over the Fissure, and yeah, I think you have to go like Nyx Assassin here.
Yeah, Nyx, I don't know, Clockwork maybe, but again, we're talking about heroes that need a little more time to realize, okay, he's jumped in, I need to cast my spell, get through the animation, and then I'm on the target. Maybe a Shadow Demon. We've seen that from EG. Just pull out a Shadow Demon against the Batrider. Not really looking to combo it up with anything. It's just the fact you'd like something to stop that target being dragged away. So it's a possibility here. But with the Queen of Pain ES, I'm not sure.
Do you think that Yapzor and Blitz are confident enough to run maybe like a Wisp? Like a Wisp and a standard, like a Tiny or a CK or something like that? CK is great against Juggernaut, so I'd love to see Wisp CK here. Draft-wise, it would be ideal, because you have the Relocate to break the lasso, you have the Chaos Knight, who does so well against the Juggernaut, assuming that he doesn't get a Magnus. The problem is, you have one support who is a stand-in, you have one mid player who's a stand-in, you have your carry, who's not really meshing well with the team right now, it would seem. It just seems like that just requires too much coordination and communication. So although the draft may be ideal, it would be very difficult to execute for a kind of pub stack.
And Wisp was first banned by Balkan Bears.
Oh my gosh, you could have told me that a while ago. Dang it!
I only just realized. I'm like, I'm with you on this. Like seeing the Batrider and Juggernaut jump onto people. Then I look up and I think, oh god, he's finished his spiel, and I've just noticed Wisp was banned out. I'm so sorry.
Put on the dunce cap. It's okay. Sometimes that happens, and you just like, oh yeah, troll sniper ban. Who looks at phase 1 bans anymore? It's always troll and sniper. Take it out. But no, you're absolutely right. Wisp is taken out, and as such, Batrider is pretty much free to lasso. Like, I stand by that Nyx pick I was talking about before, because like you have to do something about Batrider, and like there's only 3 or 4 heroes that can really address that threat early. Nyx can deal with Batrider really well pre-BKB, so can any standard Yules carrier, but they don't have one of those just yet.
Well, Undying the pick from Ninjas in Pajamas there. We've seen a lot of Undying dual lanes with heroes like Queen of Pain, but do you consider running Batrider dual lane, or the potential here for an aggro try? I'm not sure if that's something NiP are thinking about. It's so risky nowadays to run an aggressive try lane. When you've got the safety of your own jungle, you can stack and pull and make sure things work out there. I don't feel it's sort of 95% of the time, it's not necessary. Unless there's that one hero, a Spectre or an Anti-Mage or something that needs, a pretty damn good start to farm up, that you want to shut down for 5 minutes and then move your supports out. I don't see aggressive try lanes ever working to their full potential.
Radiant team ban.
It seems weird that they would try to draft for an aggro try with the Undying, not knowing exactly what they were up against. The Disruptor and Earthshaker were picked up, so they know they're up against defensive supports already, but not knowing what carry you're trying to pin down, it seems like that's a very greedy and aggressive play.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
still think that that's the best place for an Undying, but in this case, it
5
seems like it
seconds
would. I mean, if the Morphling is the carry, then how do you actually go on a target? Like the
Dire team
concussive shot
ban.
tombstone is so powerful, and there's some real kill potential, and Undying will be able to snowball, but Earthshaker, Disruptor, and Morphling will just make sure that you cannot actually connect on heroes. They will push you back with Fissure. They'll lock you out kinetic field. They'll waveform away. It just seems
10
like that would
seconds
be
remaining.
overzealous from NiP.
Yeah. So maybe
5
Undying
seconds
Bat up on the
remaining.
top lane. You can zone people out, really make their life a living hell. Scarth and Juggernaut can
Reserve
pretty much be
time.
self-sustaining down in that bot lane. Have Scarth stack, do all of that business. But Balkan Bears, Queen of Pain towards the middle lane, possibly. This could be an off-lane Morphling. It's there potentially. He's not that great though against the Scarth Mage with the Ancient Seal and being spammed out of lane. But if he gets his early levels, you can set things up for the Co-op Disruptor just to jump in there and get their spells landed and down onto the Juggernaut before he becomes too big a problem in the team fights.
So now the TA gets banned out
Ready
as well,
to
just a
pick.
matchup that their mid laner did not want to go up against. Is there a possibility it's Undying mid? Like, I feel like this hero just as like a defensive tri lane for position support doesn't bring enough, and there's not enough merit to picking him up here. I feel like you need something more. So I feel they have an aggressive game plan with this hero to put him involved very quickly, which implies to me either an aggro try with the
10
Undying,
seconds
which would be
remaining.
difficult against BBC's cores carries, as we mentioned, but also
5
maybe
seconds
the option of a
remaining.
solo mid Undying and just get his levels really early, and that can build him up. I don't know. They ban out the
Reserve
TA. We'll see with this last pick. It'll all come together a little bit, but Shadow Fiend. So no, they've got Shadow Fiend mid.
Dire
They've
team
got
pick.
Bat Rider presumably in the off lane, and that would leave Juggernaut, Skywrath, and Undying to be the safe lane, tri lane, unless they flip those side lanes out.
Huh. No Dota TV. Open mic is on. That should be working. Maybe the
It might.
ticket bugged
I think
out?
it's the bug that we were talking about between the two games. Like I couldn't see any replays, so I'm presuming just the live games don't pop up for people.
10 seconds remaining.
Interesting.
Like I'll look real quick, see if D2. Yeah, it doesn't
Oh, I
say.
don't see
Like
it.
we see
5
at the top of
seconds
our screen,
remaining.
D2CL Season 5 ticket. But if you go to live watch games, it does. Oh, it just popped up. Okay, maybe.
Reserve time.
I don't know. I think that Steam is having some issues. That's all the bottom line, I think.
Okay. Not on our end though. Nothing that we can do about it. So I can rest happy. There's no buttons I've pressed that's like destroyed everything. But
10
Balkan Bears
seconds
here
remaining.
with their final pick. What are they looking for? Where are they gonna go? They've got
5
pretty good
seconds
chasing power with a
remaining.
blink from Queen of Pain Disruptor, but they go back for the Phoenix. We are going to be playing that once again. Let's see how he does, because now he's against the Scarth Mage, one of the best heroes up against the Phoenix, along with Silencer, just to zone him out of lane and make sure he can't dive away. And I don't know, Juggernaut spin getting into that Phoenix. The right clicks are going to do a hell of a lot. He starts off with what, 1 armor? Zero? Is it 0?
For the Skywrath?
The Phoenix. He's got very
Okay.
low armor early on.
0, yes, because
0.
he had 0+3 when he was going for the Tranquil Boots. So yeah, difficult stuff. I mean, he's a strength hero naturally. He has some HP to work with, but his spells costing his HP, and then the fact that it's so easy to zone him out. The only way this lane actually works out pretty well is if that aggro try that we kind of half assumed actually comes into play. Because if they go for the aggro try, then Phoenix gets a 1v1, and he's pretty happy there. But if they go for like dual lanes and run the Bat Rider plus the Undying,
Yeah.
then I'm afraid for what's going to happen to this Phoenix.
I'm afraid for all of the lanes. Because Exist on this Morphling, you know, he's got Morph level 1. He's going to be running out of strength very, very quickly. If he wants to stick to low agility to increase his base damage and get in there with the right-click attacks, he's going to get dropped pretty quickly. Sticky Napalm is pretty good against Morphling as well, because once he hits level 2 with the Waveform, the turn speed is massively important to this Morphling for his survivability and to try and escape. If you can't turn to Waveform, you can't Waveform. You're going to have to be using it forward and aggressively,
30
which is going
seconds
to be
to
pushing you
battle.
back into the Undying, so...
Mhm.
Blitz is going to have his work cut out for him up on this top lane just to try and spam out Thunderstrike a little bit. Maybe even think about the level 1 kinetic field just to keep Exist safe or something like that.
Yeah, and I feel that Exist is a little bit intimidated by the era carry factor. If you look, he started with Morph, and he transferred up to 26 base agility with only 17 base strength. So he really has a lot of intentions to just last hit heavily, focus on farm, get online as quickly as possible to compete with Era in the mid to late game. Actually going to be bounty room for Juggernaut, no snipe coming in from Weehaw, and in fact just a decent amount of harassment going his way with a long cooldown on Icarus dive. But they do get the Fisher block, so that at least helps. The immediate Fisher block coming out from the Earthshaker Yapstor doesn't even clarity. He just goes back to Fountain and then heading back out to lane. So that's going to help at least. But yeah, I think the Morphling, he feels a lot of pressure to perform at the top of his game, get all the farm in the world, but against this dual lane, it's going to be difficult without the waveform.
Yeah, it's a big deal that he doesn't have it. Well, it's come back up now. Good Fisher, like you said, brings it back. But I feel like that dive into Rune is only ever worth it if you get the Rune.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that seems kind of just like
given,
the basis of the strategy there, but in this case, we do see Yapstor's actually roaming on mid a decent bit. Could they actually get a kill on Limp if like the Shadow Strike and Fisher connect properly?
It's going to be difficult. The block off is not going to be there. Limp still has a little gap through. Courier incoming hook. Once he's delivered himself, a little more tangos, so he's got a little more regen. Up at top lane though, Hansken already getting up in the face of Blitz here with a couple of stacks of decay. Blitz is holding on to that 1 point, so he wants to see what happens, where he needs to go with that. Silkid with clarities down at bot. Here comes the harass. Weehaw has already popped a salve. Oh man, if Silkid was getting close to level 2, this could quite easily be a kill onto Weehaw, but instead he knows Silkid's still level 1. Turn back and fight.
Yeah. He also has no mana. Like, that clarity got canceled pretty early, so, I mean, this is a outmade mana Skyroth mage. He could be level 5. It wouldn't really do too much. Weehaw is actually going to be able to do okay here. He's exhausted all of his regen, but he still has that magic stick. So, as Sealkid spams, he's actually doing okay. And he's actually going to do some good harassment. This could be your first blood. Sealkid will tango through the tree line here, but Juggernaut's not coming to help him fast enough. And the last Fire Spirit will connect! Tick, tick, tick. Tango's not going to be enough.
Oh, he survives and then he walks back into it. Either way, he was going to walk into a creep wave where Weehaw gets vision, or he was going to walk back into the Phoenix, or loop around. One way or another, he tries a sneaky.
But I mean, you have to also remember, Phoenix has terrible movement speed, 285 versus the Skyras 325. I think he just walks. But he walked back into it. Maybe afraid he'd take aggro from a creep or something. Also, a lot of people aren't sure if that last dot tick actually counts or not. There's some spells it does, some spells it doesn't. And in that case, it's a little scary to be in Sealkid's position. Maybe just kind of tunnel vision on that fact, whether or not he survives. So either way, he walks back into it, and Weehaw off to a much better start than before.
Oh, definitely. Look at him. He's nearly got Tranquil Boots. It's 3 minutes in. It's not 17 minutes in. He's well on his way to beating his performance last game. Exist up on top, though. 10 last hits, but 3 denies. This Undying with Decay and then Sticky Napalm getting thrown down onto him. It's not easy. They turn to fight, but Hansken, he's got a whole load of strength.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just going to be kind of sapped away from him. But the cool thing is he can use his magic stick whenever the decay is on him, Exist, that is. And that'll actually give him a huge boost in health. So when he's running low base strength because of his morph build and he gets hit by the decay, the regen that he has is actually that much more impactful. So the magic stick, the salve, he can actually time those when the decay stack's about to fall off and get a lot of value back in his favor. Like, we do see, like, right now, if he magic sticked, he'd be very close to full HP. But he's just going to pop the salve here, and that's going to give him full HP instead.
Yep, Zora's finally given up on that middle lane. Heads up to top, looking for a Fisher here. Not going to land it, though. Hansken glimpses back. Sends him into the creep wave. Exists with the waveform, but Tombstone's dropped. Zombies stacking up. Blitz turn back around on here as Jonas is looking for Exist. Fisher will block them off. Well, he'll block the Undying off. Bad Runner doesn't care. Flies on over. Exist still has waveform. Holding on to it for as long as he possibly can.
I think he's trying to turn it. Like, I think he's actually trying to turn that fight in their favor. But with that kinetic field, it's very difficult. Like, he's holding on to his waveform, and he has essentially a free waveform with a 10 magic stick. There's 150 mana back. So I kind of feel like he could have gone for at least a wave, offensively or defensively, but now they're getting decayed back. Blitz. Oh, one more hit. Gets it. Oh, man. Hansken just got 4 stacks of decay. He just keeps spamming. And they keep finding just presence in this top lane. Now finding a kill 2v3.
Weehaw has been pushed back a little bit here by Sealkid, who's now level 3. He's gone 1-1-1. Weehaw juking through the trees. Picks up his Tranquil Boots, and he'll be able to dive himself away here. Turns back to fight Sealkid. But he does have that movement speed over the Scarth Mage. Oh. Hook with the Queen of Pain. He's found Limp, the Sonic Wave, a couple of raises here. Limp not going to survive through it as Quap finds him while he's farming. Could even look to steal the stack as well. But with only level 2 in Scream, it's not really that worth it to stand around for 15 seconds and burn through a hell of a lot of time and, well, regen that he doesn't have.
Yeah, exactly. Mana is definitely an issue there for the efficiency of farming, and that's the time for the Shadow Fan where you just cry out, team, like, I'm being dove by my tier 2s. Can we get ATP? But now Weehaw gonna get silenced out, looking for the spin from Era. Weehaw gonna drop very low, the Icarus dive, but there's no Arcane Bolt to follow. Seal Kid gets destroyed by the Scream Blink, and they actually get another kill in their favor. BBC are doing so much better in this laning phase here, and they're gonna try to carry that momentum forward. Weehaw sustaining with the Tranquil Boots. And it was very close, actually. If the Arcane Bolt had come out a moment sooner from Seal Kid, that actually would have followed through past the Icarus dive, and it would have been a kill. But instead, Queen of Pain, it's 2 now in the span of about a minute.
Yeah, now Yapsel's getting a few levels at mid. Hansken looking for Blitz. Blitz with Hook's Tankos. Once he TPs here, just hand them over. Exist, though, has been left alone against Bat Rider up on top. And it's not an easy lane, not an easy lane at all. The fact that the Bat Rider has been given so much room to farm through, get a couple of these jungle camps, and given the last hits up on top, he's got Tranquil Boots and heading into that blink relatively quickly, along with a bottle that's just been handed over to him.
Goodbye, Seal Kid. Good try, but neutral deny is your best bet. He will go for it, and the last hit will go to the neutral creep, in fact. So, tomato and potato actually denying something for BBC, and that's a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, BBC get their revenge, though. Those dastardly neutral creeps getting taken out. Radiant Courier. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You micro that little owl. It was nearly flying over the head of Queen of Pain and the Disruptor. As Hook is looking for the stacks, but Shadow Fiend's taken them already.
Yeah, right. Still good game sense, knowing that they could be still possibly up. We're seeing the dive up top exist. Already used the waveform. There's so much
stick
control
charges
against him. He's going down.
With all those sticky napalm stacks, Hansken.
I actually got the Undying. Yeah, the Phoenix actually turns it the other way. That's actually not bad. I mean, you hate for your Morphling go down, but the return kill is pretty solid.
20 pings go out onto the map like, guys, kill the freaking Tombstone. Weehaw, one more raise will take him down. Limp just misses out. He missed the long range because of the dive, and now the Shadow Fiend is stuck in place. Has a long range raise to try and get Weehaw now. He's trying to get the angle, but he can't focus his hero into that direction. As Jonas is stuck in the trees looking for another right click. He's been sticking up napalm charges. Supernova and Yapsor walks in. And Chant Totem, Bat Rider, you've got no route of escape.
Yeah, I like how Weehaw just immediately, he hits level 6, he's like, screw it, I'll just pop my ultimate. He gets full HP and mana off of that. Maybe even gets Hansken, they glimpse it back. Yeah, that's a dead Undying. That's like 4 kills going the way of BBC. They kill the Undying twice, the SF once, and even the Bat Rider, who was just trying to kill that damn Phoenix. But yeah, essentially, Weehaw duels it out with the range creep. He wins between the two, and Phoenix's little attack range can't actually do anything when his Firefly's on cooldown. So they do get the bottom tier 1 for this, it looks like, but BBC, they suddenly are 8-2 in kill count. Well, actually 7-2 if you count the neutral deny that was recently placed out on the Skyrack.
Exists, solid stop, Ancient Steel now. Omni Slash waveform's back and he's going to be okay, but Hook is here looking for the counter onto Seal Kid. The scream, but no Shadow Strike.
Nah, if you got the Shadow Strike, that'd be a kill, but instead it's just going to be both of them TPing away, and a little bit of frustration, but still, the bigger deal there was that the Morphling lived. He was able to waveform away from the first Omni Slash of the game and stay alive, and that kind of duel between the carry nemesis is actually an important thing to kind of shift the momentum of the game. But still, the tier 1 tower falls. The Queen of Pain was trying to focus on heroes and didn't get to deny, and NiP can at least move a little bit more on the map now. Era has some options.
Yeah, it kind of feels like Balkan Bears have won their lanes, but I'm just looking at the net worth now. NiP are out farming pretty much everyone outside this Queen of Pain, who is slightly ahead of the Juggernaut. But the fact that Bat Rider is very close to Blink Dagger, that's going to open up the map for them and really allow them to push into towers, find a couple of pickoffs. Undying, not doing too bad. He's ahead of the Disruptor. The Scarth Mage is the one hero that's kind of letting them down. He's got no boots, he's got sentry walls and a TP scroll. He's basically Weehaw from last game. It's the one hero that needs a little more. We are going to dive forward, and maybe this will be a kill, but no.
Yeah.
Injure Seal down, raise into him, a couple more right clicks, and one more Arcane Bolt. He uses the Supernova. Limp, hit it, hit the edge!
They got the Fire Spirits. They have the Fire Spirits. It's actually good to walk away here. If the Fire Spirits didn't connect right then they absolutely could have killed it. But instead, Seal Kid Another death for him. Handskin now dropping the tombstone, and there's nothing to kill this tombstone. He has to TP away. Flame break
will land.
We
value
are
point.
locked in.
He also has lasso here as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, if Tombstone, the zombies plus the napalm, like you can't run from that.
No.
You're down to 100 movement speed guaranteed. They have to leave him to die.
I meant for the Queen of Pain maybe, because she was pretty close. If the bat did get into range for that, maybe they get some more reinforcements to come in. Limb.
Close.
Radiant's top
So
tower
no points in
is
Soul
under
Rip
attack.
from the Undying just yet. I mean, I know he's only level 6, so he still has room to pick that up, but 1 point is usually just a nice sustaining tool in a tough situation. So in this case, like for example, the Shadow Fiend, he could be at nearly half health instead of being fired under his tower barely alive. So it's just one of those things, but even still, Handskin, he's mostly focused on just getting in the fight, getting in the thick of things, and making that Undying do work. That lasso you were talking about could have just come out on the Queen of Pain, but he kind of fumbled it a little bit.
He blinked forward and allowed the crop to blink, I guess.
Dire's middle
Yeah, no,
tower
he literally
is
just
under
like he
attack.
turned as if he already had her. I think his right click to walk away canceled out his cast animation for his flaming lasso.
Oh boy. Hook now heading through the jungles, looking for stacks again. They've done a very good job at walking in here and trying to limit the farm of NiP. They've been a little bit unfortunate with their timings though. You know, it's always been a couple of seconds off. Oh, he blinks past Seal Kid. There's no Ancient Seal, no follow-up there. Era has left his lane looking for some, for some farm in his own jungle. But his lane isn't that safe anymore. They don't know where Yapzor is, where Blitz is. And Blitz is getting close to level 6. Once he's got that, Fissure into Static Storm onto the Juggernaut. It's pretty much going to secure you a kill if any other hero is nearby.
So, one thing I wanted to mention earlier, but it's almost timed out now. 5 minutes ago, there was a nice observer ward placed out by the Dire side here. BBC kind of canceled out this Juggernaut's camp and scouted out his every movement from west to east of the jungle. So they know when he's going to be making his move, when he's going to be going for Omni-slash plays and such. They tried to sentry it, but it's just out of range. Would kind of cancel out the normal ward, but since it's just in this narrow box where it's not going to be blocking the smaller camp, but it is blocking that central one, it's a little confusing for them. But yeah, beyond that, the tier 1 tower is still alive up top for now. It's going to be like 27 HP from Denial.
Now, with a relatively snowbally lineup here from Ninjas in Pajamas, I'm looking at Undying, Bat Rider, the Juggernaut. They like some nice early farm and get things going in the early portions of the game. Do you expect the Shadow Fiend to be building into mech? Actually, he's answered my question for me. I was wondering if it's going to be the mech build or a Yule's build. I kind of felt it's one or the other. Go for the Yules to defend yourself against Sonic Wave, Supernova, Static Storm, things like that. But also the killing power onto the Morphling and the Queen of Pain is so important. Weehar's in the trees and they can't see him. But Shadow Fiend's going for the Yules. So he'll have that Yules blink up in a short amount of time. Yapzor walks in. He'll try and turn this back around as Hook starts up. Seal Kid does not have his Mystic Flare. Tombstone's dropping now. Omni-Slash on the Blitz. One quick kill there. Double raise from Limp. Finds another. Hook blinks out. Supernova does land as Weehar dives himself away. Exists. He's got Morph. He's got Waveform in 1 second. But the lasso gets him just in time. I'm not sure they've got enough to kill him though with Waveform over the cliff. Gonna get there, and now he's chased down. He had multiple routes to go, but he chose the one where they could still follow.
Yeah, I mean, with the Radiant Ward that they had up there, I think they can still see him in the river and get the Urn of Shadows on him, so I think he dies either way, but yeah, it was kind of sad to see him choose the equal plane, not going back down in the river. But yeah, in this position, I feel that BBC had a good idea that fight, where they could just say, okay, combine Supernova with Kinetic Field. They can't get close enough to actually kill off the egg, because Kinetic Field keeps it safe. Oh, nice attempt from Weehar up top, trying to last hit the tower, instead denied. But yeah, I feel like they had a good game plan using the Supernova there, but NiP just outplayed it by simply walking away from the egg. They don't try to go for the egg and say, fight through the kinetic field into the Supernova. They just walk away, focus everybody that's easier to kill, and in the end, BBC just don't have the control they need to in the fight. So it actually was really great response from NiP. They had the right target priority, they avoided the trap of falling into the Supernova, and now they have pretty much full control of their half of the map, and they're going to start looking to breach into the opposing side.
I've just been looking at this net worth graph a little bit. BBC have been ahead once in this game, and that was about 5 minutes in, when they had a 3-1 kill lead. After that, Ninjas in Pajamas have just been completely out-farming them. Completely.
Yeah. And now we got the smoke into the pit. The observer ward from the Dire kind of gives him a false sense of security of whether or not that's under siege. Now 2 heroes show up and blitz. He goes down.
Easy lasso back into the tombstone. Would have liked maybe the Queen of Pain. Ancient Seal from Silken is ready. Walking in. Oh wow, that's a really creepy laugh. I was actually looking, not the laugh itself. I was looking at the hero portrait as he was laughing. I don't know why I was looking down there.
Oh.
But his actual smile and laughter was really creepy.
Nice. Well, they fixed the mouth movements there, so you get every single muscle movement
wow.
of the creepy laugh.
That's a Sonic Wave, but the Omni Slash is even better. Era gets 2 as We Hard trying to fight it up. Supernova now, Silken has to back himself out. Sonic Wave nearly took down 2 with that alone.
Yeah. I mean, if the Queen of Pain was level 11, that would just been 2 easy kills, but instead, Arrow walks away, doesn't even lose Aegis, and yeah, he can just farm up in the jungle back to full HP. Up top there, you've got your little exchange here, Exist. No replicant, so his options are kind of limited. He'll fight or fly, and it's not going to be either. He just gets gunned down by the rays. He can't finish with those tiny little arms trying to flail out water bolts. It just doesn't work.
Did you see the beginning of that, though?
No.
Exist was standing here as the Morphling. Jonas, I'm not even kidding here, he looped around Exist 4 times.
Oh yeah, that's so next level actually.
He was literally just moving around and around like, okay, well, you want to right-click me? Here's some sticky napalm. Try and turn. Try and do it. It was kind of funny watching, just running around and around in circles. I was wondering, what's he doing? Is he waiting? Is he baiting? But in the end, you know, Limp comes in with a Shadow Fiend, cleans him up with a raise, and he's got his Yules completed now. Incoming on the courier. Sounds done for Era. Is that S&Y? Yep. S&Y Mask of Madness, not the same performance as we had in game number 1, but he's still doing exceptionally well.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the draft is very different. Like, the Venge and the Magnus are entirely designed to empower the Juggernaut so that he can just hard carry the game that way, farm fast, and then obviously amplifying his damage when it comes down to the fights. But in this context, the heroes that we're talking about are more about creating space and also dishing out some damage themselves. The Shadow Fiend, the Skywrath Mage, they're able to do things, really. Like
Oh, Jonas gets the last one to hook. Mystic Flare. Not really paired up with it too well, though. There's 4 staffs and all sorts of nonsense, you know, like blowing people around and making them get displaced in these team fights. But Silkid and Jonas did try it. Gotta wait for their cooldowns to come back up before they can go again, which gives Exist a little more room to breathe up on this top lane. He's not now afraid of Ancient Seal, Mystic Flare, and the big ultimates coming out. Really, the one hero he has to be worried about is Shadow Fiend. With the Yules, level 2 Requiem. Exist staying on 1400 HP just to make sure he doesn't get insta-killed by that. But even so, it's going to be pretty close to instant death.
Yeah. We how this game got to go hand to Midas, so that's pretty nice. Suddenly he's up to level 11, which means his Supernovas can be even more aggressive than they have been, and they've been pretty on point so far. But now that he actually gets 8 hits to die instead of the 5 for the Supernova, he's actually able to get right up in there. As long as Juggernaut's not able to get in range, he's actually perfectly fine. But I'm still looking for some of these combos to really work. Oh, okay, actually finding a Batrider here. They try to bring him down. He just goes invis, 4 steps away at Hook. He wants to scream. He'll get a scream, but it cost him his life and even Blitz. Oh, man.
Oh, crap. I thought he was going to die to Thunderstrike and Shadow Strike. The double strike there from BBC looked like it might just finish off and tick the Batrider over the edge, but they wanted to secure it, make sure they got that experience as well, which the Queen of Pain wanted to finish off Orchid. Might have had it without diving in, but up at top lane, what did they get up here? The Phoenix with what, Ancient Seal and Omni Slash, it looks like?
Yeah, they just jumped him, popped the Omni, had him locked down in the first place because he kind of ran into Seal Kid around the corner, and yep, not a situation to be in, but at least he has his Midas pretty much synced up with his respawn time. Down bottom, we're going to see Exist just kind of doing his split push thing, but what kind of game is this for the Morphling? Does he just rush out the E-Blade at this point, just trying to kind of get his wet little feet back underneath him? I don't know. It just kind of feels like he's so far on the defensive. You can't really just shotgun combo with max agi. You more often are going to just be using the E-Blade to keep somebody alive, but even then you're up against a Skywrath, you're up against Shadow Fiend. They have a decent amount of magical damage, and they're going to just punish that buff as well.
This is one of the problems I've had with Morphling. I've always kind of touted him as being this hero that needs a very good early start to get your farm flowing, but I've been proven wrong multiple times, especially by people, by players like Sylar and ZYF over in China. They've really made it work where even though if they go behind, they still manage to find a hell of a lot of farm. But the thing they do is they play pretty aggressively when they're behind. As a Morphling, you still have quite a lot of magical damage output and mobility in teamfights, so you can go looking for kills. But you need the setup to be there for you. If you don't have other heroes that want to go and be aggressive, maybe now with the Queen of Pain, Orchid up, Era dropping low. Turn around from Silk, and Static Storm though gonna lock Era in place. There's no Omni Slash and he's gone.
Big commitment, but they will bring him
Glimpse
down.
back
Now
as well.
gonna get the glimpse back. That's another nice pick. So kind of just good follow through, and of course the Dire Observer Ward helping out there. So they just know what they're walking into. Know that if they commit everything, there's no way he gets out. And that's because he doesn't have the BKB yet. Very close. 600 gold later, and that kill would not have happened. But as it is, he does fall, and that's a huge amount of gold going back the other way. Blitz, again, last hitting the killing streak.
But yeah, about the Morphling, we've seen Bottle quite a few times just to give you that, you know, without a Linken's, you can't really sustain the waveform spam and keep going through jungle camps and pushing out waves and split pushing like a Morphling really does enjoy. Oh, wow. Well, there's the first Yule's Requiem I missed. Down on bot lane, Weehawk gets taken out.
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't have a way to respond once he gets caught by it. They have an Observer Ward out in that placement as well from right before the Skywrath went down.
Bad rider.
Nice. Yep. Does just get, I mean, these are just good spell usage, just good finding good opportunities, and they do get another kill. Blitz TPing away. Didn't get any Urn of Shadows charges, though. He just got that item. I guess he wasn't in range, but yeah, once he gets those rolling, it'll be more dots that'll make it so they don't have to dive the towers, just to ensure a Thunderstrike, Shadow Strike kill.
I mean, with a Morphling, you'd love to have a Lincoln Sphere still, but he's picked up the Ghost Scepter. Probably Ghost Scepter into BKB, maybe? Maybe Manta style. Because right now, BKB is still dealing with lasso and things like that. The Manta will get you out of that Ancient Seal and give more targets for the Juggernaut Omni Slash if you do still get silenced up. Shadow Fiend, though, speaking of BKBs, has one of his own and a gem for Huntkin on this Undying. So they're going to be looking for these Observer Wards and clearing out any vision the Balkan Bears have had because, you know, you mentioned it. Great utilization of skills, but it's the vision that's allowed them to go out, push out of their base and past the river to get these kills and openings.
Yeah, so it's a great gem timing for the Bat Rider. 22 minutes here. He's going to take out one ward immediately. There's none others to take out on the map, and honestly, I think BBC will hold on to their wards until they can kill the Bat Rider off. Like, against a Bat Rider with the clear vision of the Firefly, you can place a ward, but it probably won't last more than a minute on the map. So at this point, you kind of just withhold your wards for a minute or two, find a smoke play, look for the Bat Rider, take the gem back, and then unleash like 3 or 4 wards to play very aggressively. But, is there any reason, you were talking about BKBs and stuff like that, is there any reason he wouldn't just go straight for the Ethereal Blade? I mean, yes, he's a very easy target for silence and such, but I still just feel like he has to get something offensive working for him.
Yeah, I said E-Blade into BKB. I think he has to go E-Blade here. Like, just kill the Skywrath or Bat Rider or something like that and insta-kill them. Or at least bring them low enough for Queen of Pain to finish them off. And
oh, I actually just noticed something. Look at his attributes. He's actually playing Strength Morphling right now. He's actually just looking for the Adaptive Strike stuns. He's despite taking safe lane farm, he's having such a bad game that he says, okay, I'll just be the guy that stuns people for 4 seconds, and you guys do the damage.
Interesting. So why would you go E-Blade then? Because the whole point...
so he can transition back to Agi.
Yeah,
I think this is a temporary game plan.
Yeah, true. True. It also gives him some safety, a little bit of leeway there for pushing out lanes a little bit further against Juggernaut, Bat Rider, and people like that. But Limp on his bot lane. Getting scouted out. Yapsor has the Blink Dagger, but I'm pretty sure that got spotted there. Walked into the creep wave, and NiP going to be very wary of this. Smoke on the courier as 4 people group up. The last one, Seal Kid. Is he bait? Is he just going to wait around with the rest of his team? The Dire Observer up on this cliff will still spot them, or it will still spot the Skywrath Mage moving forward. How far does exist? 1800 gold now, so about halfway towards that Eagle song. Hook is going into a Hex, it looks like. Could be a Lincoln Sphere. He's not going BKB. Lincolns would be pretty damn good if, you know, you get caught by lasso or giving it on someone like the Morphling or the Phoenix who get up in the front lines of things just to... It's mainly a deterrent. You're making it so that Bat Rider doesn't have an easy time of jump in, 4 staff out, and okay guys, we got a quick and easy kill. And Blitz on his Disruptor. He's got Tranquil Boots. He's got his items. Aghanims is a distant thought for him right now. They're giving a lot of priority to Yapzor like they did in the previous game, trying to get him into his big items. This game, 20-ish minute Blink Dagger on this Earthshaker. Pretty damn good.
Damn. It's a tough game, but I don't even know if Aghanims is the item here. Like, I just feel like you have to be able to survive in the fights. Force Staff, Ghost Scepter, stuff like that might allow you to maneuver a little bit better. I even seen Blink Disruptor a little bit popularized in the North American scene, where you just get the most amazing glimpse range, but it's usually when you've already got a lot of momentum and you can chase really well. In this case, BBC, they're more wanting to use the glimpse just to break the lasso, if at all possible. But, no, I mean, as far as dealing with the Juggernaut threat, right now, he just hit level 16. Very different build than what we saw last time. He's not going for a stats-oriented build because he doesn't have Empower or Vengeance Aura, but he is going to be able to still right-click fast, chase well, and stay on target thanks to the BKB. Like, essentially, unless he's fissured away from a target, there's nothing to keep him from staying right on top of them.
Well, with this Undying, he's got his Urn of Shadows, he's got Arcane Boots. No big items for him, though, just yet. We've seen Undyings, like Aoi and, oh god, who was it playing it for Empire? Always Want to Fly or Aloha Dance. Just completely snowball out of control, and they get very early mech. They don't have any farm priority, but just through the power of kills, they get themselves plenty of gold, and they start pushing into towers with that. But here, you've got no real teamfight sustaining items or abilities outside of Healing Ward. They're going to go in, Yule Scepter onto Self. Limp actually screwing that up a little bit, but Blitz still gets lassoed up. With a few right clicks, we'll finish that off. Juggernaut. Weehaw says not today. Sends him up into the air.
Yeah, it's frustrating, but it is also, like, pretty obvious that if you can last the Disruptor, you just go ahead and do it so that you don't have to worry about getting glyphs back. That's the second or third time it's happened where they just kill off Blitz easily, and with it, they're confident to go right into the Roach Pit. Yeah, you can still try to go for like a Phoenix play with that Supernova in the high ground, but you're risking there being an Observer Ward right here, and them just destroying you before you get a chance, thanks to the silence. So instead, it's just going to be easy Roche, easy life, Aegis for Arrow once again.
Now, Radiant have an Observer Ward up on the cliff behind the Dire Tier 2, which there's a sentry near there. There's a sentry right next to it. Hanskin has found Yapzor. We are going to try and dive away from this because Era closing the gap. Omni Slash down, Earthshaker taken out. The Fissure will lock out the rest of NiP. But I've seen this a couple of times. I don't know if this is an exact scenario where this has happened, but baiting out Observer Wards or things like that, where you know there's an Observer Ward there, but you don't take it down. So you know they have vision on you. Do you think this is ever like a viable strat where you bait out the fact that they know what the majority of you are doing, and then you try and sort of wrap around with someone else?
In this case, it's just the Sentry Ward was placed before the Observer Ward, and it doesn't give it vision by itself after like 10 seconds after you place it. So they actually don't know about this Observer Ward unless they get like a kinetic field, waveform, or blink up there. The Sentry was just placed first.
Oh, Limp. Oh, Limp. Perseverance down. So Hook's Lincoln Sphere delayed by another couple of minutes as that gives Shadow Fiend his Blink Dagger as well. That's a pretty big kill.
Yeah, suddenly he can just kind of go into any fight with his full arsenal, blink in, Yule somebody, BKB himself, and there's nothing to stop him. I mean, really, it's just he's going to be able to one-shot somebody, get good damage on everybody else, and these are 10-second BKBs on both carries against a primarily magic-based lineup. Like, yes, you get the Sonic Wave through, you get the Supernova stun through, but Morphling's not right-clicking right now. It's just, honestly, once those BKBs are up, the fight's won for NiP. It's either BBC flee or they die. If they can disengage, great, but for the most part, it's just going to be NiP staying on top of them thanks to the aforementioned Blink Dagger. There's bonus movement speed on the Yules, and even Juggernaut running around with Mask of Madness on at 518 MS. Like the Sanjin Yasha, the Mask of Madness, that's all you need to be near maxed out, and suddenly you're able to pursue to no end. Like, this is NiP just looking to walk up to the high ground with those BKBs.
Yeah, just waltz their way into the base. There's still that Observer Ward up there, but not going to know about it just yet. Yapzor's Blink Dagger hasn't been incredibly useful just yet. He's had it for quite some time. Era spinning, the TP coming in from Hook. They'll try and... No, they blink themselves back out, and now the turnaround. Limp, BKB, Requiem, Blitz. Drop down to 70% HP with one more raise, finishes him off. As Hook is licking himself away from the silent stop Era before the Omni Slash can actually take him down.
Yep, so, I mean, they didn't pop the BKB on Era. He still has that along with his second life. Pretty confident just close in and kill people off. But beyond that, I mean, they are just kind of keeping BBC suppressed. They're not looking to push in just yet because it's still a little difficult with the Fisher kind of turtle, the Sonic Wave. Not spammable, but still present. And fighting into a choke point against the Phoenix is not fun either. So I think they're looking for a quick pickoff, do the vision advantage, and then they go in. But we're going to see Batrider caught out a little bit. Doesn't finish off the Observer Ward, just it tries to get away, and he'll be quite successful in that. Now the combo coming out, the Fisher to finish it off. Exist, assists in his first kill.
Yeah, I was looking at Exist. He finished off the E-Blade, and he went from one extreme pretty much to the other. He went down to 567 HP, you know, full agility. But because of that projectile now on the Ethereal Blade, his Adaptive Strike hit before, so he didn't get the full damage potential out of it. Could have insta-killed the Scarth Mage, but still opening up for the Earthshaker to finish him off.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, his first assist of the game. So this is the first time Morphling has been relevant in a fight.
Oh, wow.
His hero damage has to be miserable to this, up until about a minute ago, this game. I wouldn't say it's over like 1,000 or 2, but here we are. Now he's actually in a position to get involved a little bit, at least in a defensive sense. When the Omni Slash comes out, he can use the E-Blade on himself or an ally, and hope they're not going to get Mystic Flared shortly thereafter. But as far as holding the high ground, I still think NiP, they're looking to just dominate the map with the gem and look for a pickoff. As soon as they find that, they push in, no problem. 9-second BKB on SF, 10 on Jugger, and it's just about finding that opening, and it might be down bottom. We see just a dual movement between the SF and the Batrider, but if they can lock one person down, the TP rotations will be enough to win that.
Yeah, definitely. Even with Aegis Immortal up on Era, that's expiring in about 40 seconds or so. Lincoln's up now for the Queen of Pain, so the Yule's combo with the Shadow Fiend isn't really going to work out that well unless they manage to...
See this? They're like in the trees waiting to blink jump if they ever like start farming in that area. They actually use the sun ray to clear the trees. This is awesome.
So unless they manage to, you know, disable that Lincoln Sphere or get it done over with the Ancient Seal. Like what actually is there? Yule's Ancient Seal and Lasso. There's actually not that much to pop that Lincoln's on the Queen of Pain.
There's, I mean, 4 staff, 1 Yule, 2 Yules. Yeah.
The first jump from Omni Slash.
Yeah, that too can break it down. If Era picks up his Abyssal Blade, he can just Omni Slash the Queen of Pain and then Abyssal her immediately thereafter. You only lose 1 jump doing that, and it should be fast enough for the blink animation.
Oh, there we go. Jonas goes in, the Yule Scepter to pop the Lincolns, but he gets glimpsed back. The blink forward from Hook into the Omni Slash. Oh man, that was aggressive. Exist was looking for the follow through, but there's going to be no one here to actually take down Limp from the back lines. Blink, Echo Slam, and the Static Storm. Era forced to pop the BKB. He's got no more Aegis Immortal, he's dropping low, but the Healing Ward keeps him alive. Exist in the Tombstone Zombies, and now Mystic Flare. Off the mark, but still takes down Yapzor. 4 dead. We are on the retreat, no dive. He's got Yules.
Oh,
he's going to get Yules up, then Yules himself. And then Yules from the Batrider or the Shadow Fiend. Nah, they'll just kill him off. Full on team wipe as Hansken. I was talking about him getting kills early on, but 30 minutes in gets himself a triple kill. Not too shabby. Atos is now done. Rod of Atos on this Undying. Where are you going to go?
Seriously, you just can't run. You're literally locked in position if you're not using one of your escaping. I mean, Icarus Dive, Waveform, Blink, you can run as far as that goes, but as soon as that's on cooldown, as far as the Queen of Pain, you're easy pickings. And that just, combining that with the Ancient Seal, anybody without Yules or BKB is dead. But yeah, right now just taking down the racks, no problem at all. It's really where the BBC engaged offensively off that. If you get that opportunity to just glimpse,
and the Yules to stop the dive. Razors will do a decent amount of damage. The Urn gets dispelled by the Yules. Now Requiem finishes off Hook, who again blinks in aggressively, gets into the middle of the wall, but there's no follow-through from the rest of his team.
Yeah. Phoenix lives with 50 HP and then uses Supernova just to, you know, survive that situation, but now he doesn't have that. He's already bought back. He's pretty much useless. And there goes Blitz. Double kill for Limp. Weehai, that's your dieback. There's no second chance here. And suddenly, BBC are just done. Their dire racks are in shambles, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-0. I really don't know why they engaged offensively when they got that glimpse back on the Queen of Pain lasso. Like, when you get that opportunity where Blitz is in position to glimpse and break the lasso, you're like, yes, we get to play defensively and still farm pretty well for another minute or so because the lasso's on cooldown. Instead, they're like, oh, well, let's take that opportunity to chase 3 screens away into the team that we're losing against, and that just kind of hammered the last nail in the coffin.
And into the level 20 Juggernaut with level 3 Omni Slash and an Abyssal Blade. It was very aggressive. Rapier is the last item picked up by the Shadow Fiend just to get his, end game score screen looking a little bit snazzier. But yeah, you're right, 2-0 here to Ninjas in Pajamas, destroying Balkan Bears. But truth be said, they were pretty much a last-minute replacement for Hellraisers, so preparation for this series wasn't really that great, or wasn't really available for them. They had pretty short notice because if you didn't know, guys, Hellraisers weren't able to get visas for the LAN event, which will be held in Germany for D2CL. So unfortunately for them, they had to drop out. Alliance couldn't take their place. They were asked as well, but they were preparing for Starladder, and there's lots of teams doing that as well. So Balkan Bears were kind enough to jump in and play up against Ninjas in Pajamas here to see if they can get themselves towards the LAN finals. But they do drop down into the lower bracket now. The next best of 3 actually coming up against Power Rangers will be happening pretty shortly. I'm not sure if it happens directly after this. I think it's scheduled. Let me just check actually. PR it's scheduled for 1 hour and 15 minutes. So that's scheduled for 8 p.m. CEST. It might be pushed forward. We'll let you guys know. But Blaze, thanks for joining me. You're sticking around, right?
Yeah, would love to.
Sweet. So we'll see you guys in a short while. I'll keep you guys updated to see when the next best of 3 will start. But I've been Durka. Join me, Blaze. You can check us out on Twitter @DurkaDota, @BlazeCasting. Check out joindota.com as well for all of the updates, all of the scores and things like that. All the drafts for these games will be up, and you can probably go check out Dota to see Eero's performance in game number 1. Hopefully it will have refreshed, and they've got all of the information about his GPM and net worth over there. We'll be back soon. Go and get yourselves a drink.